Without fail or exception, the question I ask my clients that gives them the most pause, aside from how they want to design their distribution, of course, is just who they want to pick as the successor trustee of their trust. So I'll turn the question to you. Who do you trust to be in charge of your estate after you die? Being a trustee is a large responsibility and entails needing to do a lot of work. Today, we'll discuss what you need to know when picking your successor trustee, that is the person who will take over as trustee at your death or incapacity and have the responsibility of running your estate. Getting right into it, a good trustee is going to be someone you trust to do a good job managing and settling your estate. Generally speaking, they should be organized, responsible, a good communicator, and, well, to put it bluntly, have a bit of a backbone, or at least be someone who won't succumb to peer pressure. They don't have to be a financial guru or genius. They just need to be a responsible and careful person who is willing to also seek help where they need it. Additionally, if you have minor children or wish for money to be distributed over time rather than as a lump sum, then that trustee will be the one managing the funds throughout the period, meaning they have to be willing to potentially perform as trustee for a period of months or even years. Lastly, keep in mind that you can pick more than one person to be a trustee at a time. You can pick co-trustees to work together as a complement and also act as a check on the other. They will need to work together to do anything though, so they need to be on speaking terms with each other and be willing to work together. Don't pick strange family members with the hope that being co-trustees is going to be the experience that will bring them together. Trustees have a lot on their plate, so additional tension will only make matters worse and more complicated. So long as you keep everything I just went over in mind, you are ready to weigh your options and pick your trustee. It will get you where you need to go. However, if you want to know a little bit more about what being a trustee actually entails, or you still aren't sure of your selection, then keep watching. Trustees have what are called legal duties. These are the rules they must follow and the rules by which their potential liability will be determined should they find themselves in a lawsuit due to mismanagement. Beneficiaries, they're the watchdogs of the trustee, meaning they have standing to ultimately bring suit. With that in mind, here's an overview of some duties and tasks your trustee will have to follow. Three of the major duties of a trustee are the duties of care, loyalty, and communication. Each of these duties blend into each other, so there aren't necessarily black and white definitions for each, but that doesn't mean they're vacuous or made up of nothing. For instance, trustees, well, they have to manage the assets prudently, and that is carefully, competently, and with honesty. A trustee has likely not breached their duty of care when the stock market experiences losses, meaning the estate loses value or real estate sells at less than market rate. However, if a trustee were to invest the entirety of the trust estate in one particular stock, or heaven forbid, something as volatile as cryptocurrency, then their actions likely would be or wouldn't be considered prudent. Likewise, if the trustee were to benefit from an investment in the trust or in a transaction with the trust, such as purchasing real property from the trust, then not only may that be considered to have not acted prudently or with care, but they will also be accused of violating their duty of loyalty to the beneficiaries. Trustees must work in the best interest of the beneficiaries, not their own self-interest. Trustees must also treat all beneficiaries equally and not favor one over the other. A duty so often forgotten in blended marriage situations or where there's a black sheep beneficiary. Extending out from these duties, trustees are also required to communicate to beneficiaries, respond to reasonable requests for information, and provide a periodic accounting of the trust assets to those beneficiaries, usually once a year and when the trust closes down. This means trustees can't shut themselves away from the world and just work in secret. There needs to be some form of an open line of communication, as well as documentation, throughout the administration. Finally, keep in mind, a trustee isn't required to work alone. They are allowed, if not outright expected, to hire professionals to assist with the administration. These professionals include, of course, lawyers for the legal work and guidance, perhaps a financial advisor to help manage investments if the estate itself is substantial enough, accountants, CPAs, or EAs to help with the required accounting and tax returns to be filed both to the federal and state governments, real estate agents for any real properties to be sold, and so on. Trustees need not be stellar money managers or an expert in any particular field. As I've mentioned previously, they should be responsible and know when it is best to rely on the advice and guidance of another when they need it. Bottom line, when deciding on a trustee, pick someone who you trust, someone who is responsible, organized, has a good head on their shoulders, and who won't bend to the whims of that one beneficiary who thinks they know better or who wants to stir the pot, so to speak. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to check out some of our other excellent videos here, but don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell, and tell us what you'd like for us to cover down in the comments below.